Yo, it's good. It's Chosen SC, and I'm back on another video. And for this video, I don't really have nothing planned out. I'm just gonna flow and say what's on my mind. And the first thing I'm gonna say is that your soul is the only thing that is free within this world. Your soul is the only thing that is truly yours. You are not this body. You are not the attachments to the people that you have connected with within your life. You do not have any possession over anything within your life but your soul. And it's not that you're possessing your soul. Your soul just exists as it already is. You know, you gotta understand that you have already been here. You've already experienced everything that you have experienced, and your soul is the headmaster of this all. You know, it is the overseer of everything that you are experiencing within your life, because you are experiencing everything within your life simultaneously. There is no disconnect between any version of yourself, because all the versions of yourself exist within the now. So you got to understand that, yes, you can have connections with other people, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to possess these connections with other people. It doesn't mean that you need to get attached to it in a way that it drains you of your own life force. It drains you of your own energetic connection within yourself and your own energetic expression within yourself. I feel like so much times we can take on the properties of whoever we have connected with that it drains of sort of our original essence. You know, it takes us away from the source, which is ourselves, because we start looking for the source within others. We start looking at others for the source of our happiness, others for our source of excitement, and this could be detrimental to us. You gotta understand that we will always be the source, and we gotta return ourselves back to our source. You gotta understand that everything that you seek within others, it was already within ourselves, and this is because our soul holds everything that we have ever wanted. Everything that we seek is already within us, and we are seeking everything outside of ourselves when we are the true essence of source. We are the original creator. We are the creator. We are source. So you gotta understand that, yes, these relationships could be good, but it's always good to always just keep a reference within your mind that you are the source, and you are just highlighting the qualities within yourself from these other people. You are seeing yourself within these other people, and you find it beautiful because your light is finally being reflected back to you. And this is just something that you gotta just appreciate within life, because although we can understand that we love ourselves, we understand ourselves, and we know ourselves, it's always good to have someone just show us our own light. You know, to have someone just be there for us and just exude the same joy, exude the same creativity that we give to ourselves. And this is good within all connections within life. You know, it doesn't necessarily need to be given to a loving relationship, you know, or a loving relationship where you're in romantic you're in romantic relationships with another person. But nah, it could be in paternal relationships. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to go into one sort of type of category within our life. And I feel like when we look for it in one sort of category within our life, we sort of restrict ourselves from anywhere that love can take place. We restrict ourselves from where our light can be reflected back to us within our life. Another thing I'm going to just say is that this is your life to live. You know, you got to understand that you didn't come here to live for others. You came here to embark on a journey that was fulfilling for your soul, and for you to live like yourself, not for anyone else. And yes, you may see other people just following the crowd and doing what they want to do, but no, you have the active choice to live the life that is truly for you. And though it may be discouraging in the moment, just seeing everyone go one way and you're the only one being different, it's so much more beautiful when you look at it from a journey standpoint. You know, you have chosen the route that's untraditional. You have chosen the route that's unorthodox, and not that many people are necessarily don't have the strength to go through or follow through with this journey. You know, only specific souls have this type of mental fortitude and this soul fortitude to go through these challenges within life, to exude from greatness, you know, to be shot up so far from the ground until your path. And this is just something that you have to admire within yourself. You know, you're not living for anyone else, and don't let anyone else try to kill your dreams, because this is your life to live. When you start to try and take on what everyone else is doing and what everyone else is saying, you start to remove the authenticity from yourself. You start to remove who you are and who you came here to be. So just Be who you came here to be. You know, you don't have to follow the rules of life. You don't have to follow these old paradigms, these old systems, because they were not meant for you to follow. You were always the one who was meant to be a soul catalyst to break out of these futile systems. You know, these systems were never for your good. They were always detrimental to who you were and who your soul came here to be. And you are just a rebellious soul by nature, not because you want to be, but because everything within your soul stands against what this system has been created on. Everything has stood against what you have seen within your life, and you are the only one to be able to do this. And this is just something that you gotta understand, that you were meant to blaze your path. You were meant to set the way for your path and be a leader within your life. You are not meant to follow anyone else. And just because your path looks a little different does not mean that anything is wrong with it. You know, you got to embrace the uniqueness within all of our paths within life, because your friends are not doing the same thing that you are doing. Your family's not doing the same thing that you are doing. You're on this solo journey for yourself. And while you may make connections along this way, you got to understand that you have always been within yourself all this time. You got to stay with yourself and always be a partner to yourself, and always be a loving partner to yourself. Understanding that I've always had myself throughout everything I've been through within my life. And it's because I love me and I am for me. You got to understand that you are not looking for a soulmate. You're not looking for another person to love you when you love yourself, because you are love. Love was never absent within any point within your life, because you were always the essence of love. And if you feel like love was never there in your life, you might look at yourself from the lack of love. You might look at yourself from the scarcity within your environments, because you have never been showing anything except the scarcity of love. You know, when you start to think different, when you start to move different, you're going to understand that some of these things within my life don't resonate no more, like scarcity mindsets and the lack mindsets, because you have never been in lack with anything within your life. You know, there's always an abundance for us to achieve within our life. There's always an abundance for us to claim within our life, because it is our natural birthright. And if we claim it, who has anything to say about us claiming it? You know, they can't say anything about us claiming it, because it has already been claimed. You can't do nothing but watch from afar while you claim your abundance, and while you do you, because you are a star and you came here to shine your light. You came here to shine bright like a diamond and just be exactly who you are. You came here to laugh. You came here to be joyous. You came here to find the peace of mind, to find the peace within your soul, and to actively embark on missions to overall progress your soul. So who cares what anyone else has to say about your life? You know, your soul is the only thing that is free, and your soul is the only thing that is free because you are the embodiment of freedom. Your soul is not like anyone else's, and it is not trapped or confined to the physical limitations of logic, to the physical limitations of being realistic. You will defy all logic. You defy all ideas of being realistic, because your soul just knows. And this is why you got to trust your intuition and know that everything is always working out for you. So I just made this video to say that your soul is the only thing that is free. You gotta love your path. You gotta love your journey and walk your journey with your head up high, smiling and laughing, even if you make mistakes. Because it's not really a mistake, but if you make like some choices where you can learn off of it, it would be great, because you're learning a new experience within life. You gotta hold grace for yourself, understanding that you have never went through this experience within any point within your life, and you are a new version of yourself each and every day. So just hold grace for yourself, laugh, smile, and don't take life too serious, because life is what you make it. And my life is gonna be great, just like yours. Peace.